When we talk about Martin Luther King's speech, we say he had a dream, right? So that was his vision and that was his dream. In the 60s, in 1960s, this was this man's vision. So everything he envisioned and everything he dreamed, it has come to pass. Now, if that is true, then that makes us what? The dream.
Hey, everybody, this is Matt Anderson, Director of the Institute for Family. I'm here with a good friend of mine, Lynch Hunt. And Coach Lynch is owner, founder of AWOL Fitness, fitness expert, author, speaker, entrepreneur, a whole host of things, and just happy to be here together with you today, Lynch. And we're here because it's Black History Month. And so we wanted to have a conversation about that, about your story. And our team here at the Institute's been thinking a lot about Black futures and how that connects to our work around family well-being. So we want to get into that a little bit with you today as well. Before we dive into that, though, one other title that you carry around, even on your business card, is Transformation Specialist. So why don't you tell the people what that means?
All right, so Matt, Transformation Specialist is simple, man. I'm a person who specializes in process that produce transformation. All right. Transformation is simple. It means to move beyond your current state. And a lot of people don't think about moving beyond where they are. They really just want to make things a little better than what they have right now, as opposed to transcending it. So what I do is help people provoke the thought of something could be way better than where you are right now. And that's what makes me a transformation specialist.
I love it. So you and I have been working together on this kind of stuff for a while. And so most people don't know that the Institute for Family has its roots in a lot of different places, but you're part of that root system, Lynch. And so you helping me think about what it means to do transformational work has really shaped my thinking about what the role of the Institute for Family is. So we need to transform beyond the current state of our child welfare system. We have, any given year, over 700,000 kids in foster care. And we need to do more to strengthen families and reduce that number of kids in foster care. And that's going to require transformational work. And so I'm glad to be here today having this conversation with you, because you've been an inspiration behind the scenes to a lot of what we're doing here. So, and a lot of what we're doing is about individual stories and family stories. And so why don't we get started with kind of your origin story? If you could talk a little bit about where you came from and how you grew up and kind of early adulthood.
Sure. First, I want to say is honor, man. Like, thanks for having me and being able to, just share the story once again, and just to, have people relate to, something that's a little bit different, than normal. So thanks for having me, man. And of course, Matt, a lot of people know that I'm not from here, but for those that don't know me, I'm from New Jersey. I grew up there. I played sports my entire life. So like from the age of 7, I was enrolled in organized sports. And, I don't know if that was because my mom needed a babysitter or something, because like literally, it was a single parent household. So my mom was raising 3 kids, my older sister, my younger brother. So I'm a middle child, right? And me and my brother, we played sports. So we were always busy in sports. We played football, we played basketball, we played baseball. And we went from one season to the next season to the next. That focus led me to go to college to play 2 sports, to play football and basketball. When I got there, I wasn't so focused, because I think it was the first time, I was on my own, and not having, my coaches around me every day, my mom around me every day to wake me up, to get on me, to say, you're supposed to be here, you're supposed to be there. And that discipline that I had during sports, it kind of started to fade a little bit because, I didn't have those people on me, so I started coming late to class, and, I started, falling behind on the work. Then I started to fail class, and then I didn't really want to fail class and let it, affect my GPA too much. So I started to drop my classes, and, I dropped one too many classes, and I was no longer a full-time student. And then after that, I was denied housing, and I was kicked off campus, and I had to return back to this same environment that I thought I had escaped from. And you know what they say, you're the sum of the 5 people that you hang around with the most. So when I went back home, back in that environment, I started hanging around my childhood friends who were all now selling drugs at this point. And I still was the kid who wasn't selling drugs, but after a while, I started to see them with nice things, with new things, with getting attention. And, I was growing up now. I didn't have new clothes. I didn't get no attention. And I was getting all the attention when I played sports because I was the man. And now here I am. I'm not the man anymore. I'm just another kid that's dropped out of school, and I'm hanging on the corner with everybody else. So I started to do what everybody else did. And listen, I was a kid who, whatever I did it good. So I even did negative things good. So once I started, doing that negative thing, I found a way to do it the best, just like I did with sports. And then I wind up becoming the best of the bad guys. So I rose my way up from a street level drug dealer to the leader of an $8.3 million drug ring. There was an FBI investigation. There was, DEA investigation. And next thing they come in, swoop me and my team up, 24-man indictment. I go down for 10 years in federal prison for a drug conspiracy. So we wound up getting the largest drug bust in county history. And I was at the top of the drug ring. And man, I had to reevaluate my life at that point, man.
What, as you were going through that transformation, what you talked about your mom's unwavering love. What did
Yeah,
what was that all? What role did that play
man.
for you?
So Matt, I haven't spoken about this a lot, but one of the first days that I was locked up, they consider you indigent when you first get incarcerated. So they give you a postcard, which has free postage on it. And they give you like a little half pencil, you should take those tests with and stuff like that. Like when you go to the lottery store to fill out the lottery stuff, the little half pencil, right? So I wrote my mom a postcard, and I told her that, Mom, I'm going to make this up to you. Like, this is not the end. Like, I'm gonna do everything that I'm supposed to, man, because I knew the kind of love and the sacrifices that my mom went through just to give us, shelter, to give us food, to make sure we had clothes and things like that, just the bare necessities, man. And when you get a chance to reflect on that stuff and you start to take it for granted, you realize that, you know what, man, this is a special individual that is raising us by ourselves. And then all of a sudden, like, she has to take on extra jobs, and you don't really realize the hardships that she's going through, and maybe in a relationship or at work and things like that. And then you finally grow up and you realize that, man, this is unwavering, undying love, unconditional love that someone, has given me just to give me a chance to, to be successful, or just to be, just to grow up. You understand what I'm saying? And Matt, I just learned from her that, you can always make do with what you got. Like, you can start where you are with what you have and make something happen. She taught us that, how to pivot in poverty. She taught us how to just take the little things and stretch it, and that you can always do more with less. And I just learned so much of how to make, the best of any situation, man. And that's what I needed when I went to prison. I had to make the best out of any situation and use the moment that I had to get what I wanted in the future.
And having your mom's support there with you, I'm sure made a big difference. And then I know that you and your mom are at each other's side, since you've been out too. And if anybody follows you on social media, they'll see that your mom, your family pops up a lot. I mean, family's a big deal to you. I know it.
Yes, sir.
So okay, so last year you gave a keynote speech at the MLK Junior Breakfast, which is a big deal in Greensboro, North Carolina, where we live. Um, and it was a powerful speech. And you took
Thank you, man.
his iconic "I Have a Dream" speech, and you sort of turned it into this call to action of "I am the dream." And, that's sort of what inspired us as we were thinking at the Institute about Black History Month and this idea of Black futures. You were really talking about the future for all of us.
Yes,
What do we
yes.
need to do to create the future that we envision for our world and for us, for families? So, what inspired that? Like, what is this idea of I am the dream, and what were you trying to get across in
All
that
right,
talk?
so when we talk about Martin Luther King's speech, we say he had a dream, right? So that was his vision and that was his dream. In the 60s, in 1960s, this was this man's vision. So everything he envisioned and everything he dreamed, it has come to pass. Now, if that is true, then that makes us what? The dream.
Mhm.
So now what I tried to do was transfer ownership. I
Mhm.
wanted people to take responsibility of the dream and now understand that you are the dream. See, it's different. See, when you're a kid and you live at home and you don't have no bills, you don't have any responsibilities. You'll leave the lights on, you'll let the waters run, you'll leave the door open, you'll leave appliances plugged in, and your mom or your parents, they'll tell you, they say, hey, you're running up my bills. But the minute you move out, and you get your own place, you're going to be more responsible with the electric, with the water, with the heat, and with all the things that you now have ownership over. And what I wanted people to do is realize that you have a dream, you have a seed, you have a vision inside of you. And if the future is going to look, if it's going to come to pass, then we have to move from 1960. If we don't move, if we don't understand that where we are now was a result of that man's vision, that man's seed, that man's dream, and we need to now have our own seed, our own dream, and our own vision, and we could probably propel something into the next 60 or 70 years, then why not? Look, why not all of us do something just like Dr. King did?
So why aren't more people being the dream? What do you think holds people back? What can we take away from this?
Powerful question. For one, I talked about two key words there. I said vision. All right. A lot of people are seeing things with their eyes and they don't think it's possible. But vision is a function of the heart. Sight is a function of the eyes, and vision is a function of the heart. So it's going to take courage, right? Which a Latin word breaks down and it comes from the heart. That's what courage means. So if we can never tap into the seat of the soul, the mind, the will, and the emotions, that's where your vision and your heart lie at, the seat of the soul, right? If we can never tap into that, then we will never have courage to take a leap of faith or to move out on our own thoughts, to be what we would call independent thinkers, right? We're letting society dictate what we do and what we don't do. And in this case, what we don't do because we don't have enough courage to live our own vision, dreams, and things and gifts that have been placed inside of us.
Absolutely, and that gift created space for you to give that keynote address. So I just wonder what that meant to you after all that you've been through in your life, and then to emerge on that stage on that day. What was that like for you?
Man, that was truly an honor, man. You got to figure, I'm able to give a speech in the name of one of the greatest leaders of our times. And here I am, justice impacted, convicted felon, all this stuff. I'm like, this is surreal, man. And it just proves that, when you do the right, when you take one step towards the creator, one step towards God, then he's going to take, 10 steps back towards you, and he's going to bless you, man. He's going to open some stuff up, man. So it was an honor and a privilege, man.
Yeah, and so you mentioned, sort of the institution, right, as an influencer, and so we are the Institute for Family. So I'm thinking about that, but we think about our job here is listen first, right? Listen to your story, other people's stories, with the intent to learn from, like
Yes.
seek to understand first, right? So listen to, learn from, act with, and so and we talk about family well-being a lot. So I'm just curious, as one man, living his life in this world, how do you define family well-being?
Yeah. So I just think that family well being is simple. And I use it as one word: support. when listen, when you have the support, so I would have never got to the spot that I am today without the support of my family.
Okay, so let me just ask you one last question, which is, what is your dream for America's families?
I think we need to rewrite the narrative of the American dream and change it to contribution instead of material. So the American dream right now is based around what things we can accumulate, what material things we can accumulate, instead of what things we can actually contribute. Man, I'm telling you, if we can get together and rewrite this narrative right here, the whole world will have a different outlook on what they pursue. Everybody's thinking, how can I contribute to this greater whole? What do I have to offer the world? You know, God gave me life today, but my gift back to Him is what I do with my life. So each day won't be wasted chasing material things. It'll be made the best of, look, seeking your gift and what's been placed inside of you, unwrapping it.
That's perfect. I love that. Okay, so let's take it a little bit more personal if I can. So I know that you're a family man. You have kids, but now you have a little baby girl, right? So you're a dad of a what 1 year old girl, about 1 year
Yes,
old.
sir. Yes,
Yep,
sir.
yep.
Yeah.
So
15 months.
and so her name is Legacy,
Yeah.
which I think is really interesting in terms of this conversation, right? So just talk to me a little bit about being a dad of a 1 year old, what that's meant to you, and why did you name her Legacy?
Wow. So I can't take all the credit for naming the legacy, but my wife was very instrumental in legacy. When we thought it was going to be a boy, it was going to be either legend or legacy. But when you let's break down her name. Her name is Legacy Amore Hunt. And what I do is go from the last name to the first name. So Hunt means, to seek or search, right? And then Amore means love. And then, legacy is something that never ends. So when you look up, when you take her name and you break it down, it means in search of a love that will never end.
Lynch, this has been a great conversation. I've really enjoyed it. I've appreciated having this time to hear more about your story and your thoughts on family and family well-being and your I have a dream, I am the dream speech. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
And any last words you want to leave us with?
Yo, listen, man. I truly appreciate the opportunity to just to talk with you, to share my thoughts, and just to inspire people, man, through my story or through my work or whatever I get a chance to do, man. I truly appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you very much. Good stuff.
Thank you for having me.